We're stepping into the shadows of ancient Rome. Not the marble statues and golden triumphs you see in movies, but the raw, filthy, brutal reality that would break most of us in a single day. Before we dive in, hit that like button if you're ready for the truth, subscribe only if you mean it, and drop a comment with where you're watching from and what time it is there. Let's wake up in the year 753 AUC. That's 1 BC in our calendar. The good news? You're alive. The bad news? So, is everything trying to kill you? 042. Your eyes snap open on a reed mat that's more mold than mattress. It's stuffed with straw that hasn't been changed since Caesar crossed the Rubicon, and it smells like a wet dog rolled in vinegar. No pillow, no blanket worth the name, just a coarse wool cloak that's half moth-eaten and half someone else's sweat. The air is thick with smoke from the brazier in the corner, because your one-room insula apartment has no chimney, no windows, and a door that doesn't lock. You're on the third floor of a 6-story fire trap in the Subura district. Think downtown chaos, but with open sewers and zero building codes. The walls are cracked plaster, the floor is packed dirt, and the ceiling leaks when it rains, which is always. Your neighbors? A baker who starts yelling at 3 a.m., a family of 8 crammed next door, and a stray cat that thinks your mat is its litter box. Privacy? What's that? You share the space with your spouse, kids, maybe a slave if you're lucky, and the fleas that own the place. 138A rooster screeches outside, Rome's version of an alarm clock, only it's drunk and off-key. The city bell clangs from the forum, signaling dawn. Time to move. You stretch, and your back cracks like a gladiator's whip. You're 25, which in Roman terms is pushing middle age. Your joints ache from sleeping on the floor, your teeth are already rotting, and your breath could knock out a legionary. The air is freezing in winter, stifling in summer, and always damp. You swing your legs over the mat, and your bare feet hit something squishy. Yesterday's chamber pot overflow, because the communal toilet downstairs is a 50-person line and a health hazard. Oh, and the stairs. Narrow, steep, and slick, with who knows what. One wrong step, and you're tumbling into the street like a discarded amphora. 228 nature calls, and it's not subtle. There's no bathroom, no flush, no mercy. If you're a pleb, your toilet is a wooden bucket in the corner, shared, overflowing, and emptied into the street below with a half-hearted cave. That's Latin for watch out, but no one does. The streets are open sewers, a sludgy river of human waste, animal droppings, piss from the fuller's shops, and the occasional corpse if the vigils are slow. Public latrines? Sure, if you like sitting cheek to cheek with 20 strangers on a stone bench with holes cut out, no dividers, no ventilation. You chat about the races while doing your business. Wipe with a communal sponge on a stick soaked in vinegar water. If you're lucky. Toilet paper? Most use leaves, rags, or nothing. In the villas of the rich, they have private latrines over running water, but even emperors deal with the smell. And attackers? Slaves sometimes climb the waste pipes to rob houses. Talk about a shitty entrance. Whether patrician or pleb, Roman toileting is public, pungent, and perilous. One slip on the slick stones, and you're swimming in centuries of civilization's leftovers. 338. You survive the morning ritual. Reward? Breakfast? Roman style. No cappuccino, no croissants. You squat by the fire pit, because stoves haven't been invented, and scoop up poles, a gloopy porridge of barley, water, and whatever's not moldy. It's been simmering in the same pot for days, topped with yesterday's leftovers, a chunk of salt fish, some garum, that fermented fish sauce that smells like death but tastes like umami crack, and a hunk of bread so hard it could chisel marble. Bread's the staple, coarse, dark, baked in communal ovens, often cut with chalk or sawdust to stretch the grain. Drinks? Posca, vinegar water, or cheap wine diluted 1 to 3, because the Tiber is a toxic soup of industrial runoff, corpses, and sacred offerings. Kids drink it too. Meat? Rare, unless it's a festival or you're rich. Fruit? Seasonal, and half rotten by the time it reaches the market. Spices? Pepper costs more than silver. You chew your gritty loaf, gulp your sour wine, and pray the rat in the corner didn't piss in the pot. Breakfast doesn't fuel you. It just keeps death at bay for another day. 4:48 fed and filthy. Time to dress. Your wardrobe, 1 tunic. Wool or linen, dyed with urine if you're fancy. Worn daily until it disintegrates or fuses to your skin. Underwear? Optional and rare. Most go commando under scratchy fabric. No washer, no soap. Just a trip to the Phalanca, where slaves stomp clothes in vats of piss to clean them. Shoes? Caligay. Open sandals with hobnails that spark on cobblestones, or barefoot through the muck. Your skin's a battlefield. Lice, fleas, scabies, everyone's got 'em. Nobles powder with lead white. Peasants scratch with combs made of bone. Bathing? Public thermi if you can afford the entry fee. Steam rooms, cold plunges, social hubs. But most skip it, believing water opens pores to disease. You itch, you stink, you endure. Now dressed in discomfort, it's time to face the day. 5:48 smile? Bad idea. No dentist, no toothbrush, just a twig chewed to a fray or wine rinse. Teeth rot fast on garum and bread. By 30, your grin's a graveyard of black stumps. Toothache? Barber pulls it with pliers. No anesthesia. Infection? Sepsis and death. Bad breath is universal. Kissing's for the brave. Your mouth's a liability, but romance judged by dowry, not dental work. Now, out the door, because work waits for no one. 6:28. Your job? Survival. 90% of Romans are plebs, farmers, laborers, shopkeepers. You rise with the sun, work till it sets. No weekends, no holidays except festivals. And even then, you're hustling. Tools, hands, a Delabra pick, maybe an ox if you're loaded. Plow fields outside the walls, haul stone for aqueducts, bake bread at 120-degree Fahrenheit ovens. Women? Same grind, plus kids, spinning, cooking. Kids work from age 7. No school unless you're elite. Pay? Barely enough for bread and rent. Break a bone? Keep working. Fever? Posca and prayers. Can't work? Starved out and replaced. Your career's an endurance race with death as the prize. 7:18. Weather? Punishment. Winter. No heat, just braziers and cloaks. Insulae freeze. You huddle under shared blankets. Summer? Ovens. No AC, no shade. Sweat through wool, chafe, dehydrate. Flies swarm the markets. Mosquitoes breed in the Cloaca Maxima. Sunstrokes, a bad turn. Climate control? Nil. 7:58 thirsty? Water's a gamble. Aqueducts bring fresh from mountains, but by the city, it's contaminated. Lead pipes leach poison. Most drink wine or posca. Bathing's rare. Filth's a protective layer. One wrong sip, and you're clutching your gut in agony. 8:28. Sick? Medicine's theater. Humor's out of balance. Bloodletting with lancets or leeches. Broken bone, splints and wine. Surgery? Knives heated for sterility. No germ theory. Pain's God's will or bad air. Doctors? Often slaves or charlatans. Cure? Often death. 8:58. Dinner. More pulse, maybe olives, cheese if lucky. Preservation, salt, smoke, honey. Meats for the rich or festivals. Food's a risk. Ergot in rye causes hallucinations. Spoiled fish, dysentery. Poaching a hare, crucifixion. 9:28 evening. Religion's everything. The gods demand sacrifice, daily offerings, festivals, omens. Miss a rite? Bad luck. The paterfamilias rules the home like a mini-emperor. Church, temples everywhere, but no monotheism. Polytheism's a full-time job. 9:58 women, hard mode. Marry at 12 to 16, bear kids yearly, manage house. No rights, property of father, then husband. Childbirth, 50-50 survival, no meds. Adultery, death for her, fine for him. But some wield power through sons or salons. 10:28. Violence, normal. Streets unsafe after dark. No lights, muggers, gangs. Punishments brutal. Crucifixion, arena, flogging. Gladiators fight for sport. Slaves branded. War constant. Legions march. Borders bleed. 10:58. Death, early. Life expectancy approximately 25 to 35. Dragged by infant mortality. Half kids die by 5. Plague, famine, accident. Burial, cremation or grave. Rich get tombs. Poor, the Esquiline pits. 11:28. A day in Rome. Wake in filth. Shit in public. Eat gruel. Work to bone. Itch constantly. Pray to angry gods. Dodge knives. Sleep dreading tomorrow. Romanticized? Myth. Real Rome was hierarchy, hardship, heroism, and endurance. People laughed, loved, built aqueducts that still stand. But you wouldn't last a week. 12:08. Yet, through it all, Romans innovated. Roads, law, engineering. They turned brutality into empire. Tonight, in your clean bed, with running water and Wi-Fi, thank the gods you're not there. But remember, their grit built the world we inherit. 12:38. Transition music fades in. 12:48. Long before she became Cleopatra VII, last pharaoh of Egypt, seductress of empires, and legend of defiance. She was just Cleopatra, born 69 BC in Alexandria, daughter of Ptolemy XII, in a dynasty of Greek Macedonians ruling a land of ancient gods and Nile floods. Her childhood palace echoed with intrigue, Greek tutors drilling philosophy, multiple languages, and the art of survival in a family that killed its own. Cleopatra learned early. Power wasn't inherited. It was seized. At 18, she ascended beside her brother Ptolemy XIII, a child puppet of courtiers. Civil war erupted. Exiled, she rallied armies, famously smuggled into Caesar's presence in a carpet. Alliance formed. Military. Romantic. Caesar restored her throne. She bore his son. But Rome's politics devoured him. Enter Mark Antony. Alliance, passion, twins. Cleopatra styled herself Isis reborn, building Egypt's wealth while Rome fractured. Octavian declared war. Actium, 31 BC, naval defeat. Antony fell on his sword. Cleopatra, testing asp venom, followed. Egypt fell to Rome. But Cleopatra's legacy? She ruled 21 years, spoke 9 languages, negotiated with empires, preserved Egypt's independence longer than any Ptolemy. Not a seductress alone, a strategist, mother, goddess queen who played the game and rewrote the rules. In the frozen fjords of 9th century Scandinavia, before Vikings were horned helmets and Hollywood raids, they were Norse farmers, traders, explorers facing a harsh world. Wake in a longhouse, turf roof, central fire, smoke-stinging eyes, bed, bench with hides. Family, thralls, animals share the space, warm but rank with sweat and manure. Dawn, porridge of barley, sour milk, tools, iron axe, say-axe knife. Men fish, farm, raid in summer. Women weave, brew, run farms when men sail. No privacy, no mercy from cold. Gods, Odin, Thor, sacrifice for favor. Violence, blood feuds, thing assemblies for law. Women could divorce, own property, inherit. Valkyries in myth, shield maidens in saga. Death, burial with goods or ship cremation. Vikings explored to Vinland, traded to Baghdad. Brutal, yes, but innovative shipbuilders, builders, poets of sagas. A day, wake cold, work dawn to dusk, eat fish and bread, tell tales by fire. Romanticized raids, reality, survival against ice, sea, enemies. Their spirit, exploration, resilience. We owe them trade routes, DNA, words like Thursday. Tonight, cozy with heat and light, appreciate the fire they tended. History's not comfort, it's the forge of who we are.